The red dots live. Welcome in to Veterans Memorial Stadium. I'm Logan Mance alongside McKenna Kabachi, and we are just now getting started after the volleyball game. It was a long, tight game, and Coffeyville was able to came out with the victory, and then we had to hurry up all the way here to Veterans Memorial Stadium to get started. And Coffeyville started out with their opening possession, and it went 3 and out. Took a minute off the clock from their own 26, and then Cooper Lee punted it to the 39 of Highland, and they took it over. And we saw a big run from Willie Jordan, 19 yards, and they just moved the chains on that with 11:45 left to play. Coffeyville coming to this ball game 3-6, and Highland is 3-5. So we're expecting a good game, McKenna, here tonight.
Yeah, absolutely.
So a delayed handoff, took him down in the backfield. I believe that's Kevin Norris getting in there from the linebacker position, 6'1", freshman out of Boyanton Beach. And he was able to get in there for a 2-yard loss. And that was Willie Jordan again on the carry, the 6'1" sophomore out of Warner Robins, Georgia. One of the big play makers for this team. He has 138 rushes on the year, 619 yards rushing this year. And they'll give it right back to him up the middle. And that's first down yardage. Ball is loose. And right there on the spot to recover it was a Highland wide receiver.
Yeah, you don't want to see a mistake like that for this Highland team coming in 3-5.
But able to pick it up is Trey Parker, 6'2", freshman out of Augusta, Georgia. And that will move them forward into Coffeyville's 11-yard line. 2 wide receivers out for the Scotties. Handoff up the middle, and he'll bring it inside the 5.
Getting into the Coffeyville red zone is a good advantage for this Highland team, as they do want to get an early start. I feel if they do, that would be tough for Coffeyville to come back up to.
They started the ball out at their own 39. Good field position and able to take it all the way down to the Coffeyville 4-yard line, and they're doing damage on their first possession. 2 wide receivers out. Wobbly snap, but able to pick it up and push backwards by the Coffeyville defensive line.
Good stop by the Coffeyville defense.
That was Brian Miller, 6'4" defensive lineman out of Brooklyn, New York, able to come in there and meet him first in the backfield. And that's a loss of 1 yard, making a 3rd and 4 at the goal line. 2 wide receivers to the top of your screen, 1 to the near side. And you'll see the quarterback, Narcos Driver, formerly known as the tight end, but they've had some injuries. So he'll take over at the quarterback position.
Well, Logan, as you mentioned before, that stop by the Coffeyville defense, you know, the Coffeyville defense has dominated the past couple games. So seeing them make that big stop right there, pushing back yards for Highland was very good to see.
And they'll really need to make Highland pass the ball, as Narcos Driver only 90 yards passing this year, 1 touchdown, does a lot of running. But like you said, he had 76 yards passing and 3 touchdowns, I believe, running against Fort Scott the last game they played. So Coffeyville will definitely have to make them pass the ball here tonight if they want to win the game.
Maybe force some turnovers. Put pressure on the quarterback as well.
Yeah, they're coming off a 62-28 game, and they had a lot of turnovers in that game and a win over Dodge City. Coffeyville with 2 wins in a row, looking for their 3rd, and they'll need a big stop here at their own 5-yard line. Driver in the gun. He'll keep it himself and slips up. Coffeyville defense holds. As Kevin Norris and Brian Miller right there to stop him in his tracks. Brings it to a 4th down and 4. 8:40 left. And we'll see the kicker come out, William Solomon. He's 9 of 16 on the year. His longest is 46. This one will be a little shorter. About a 23-yard field goal from that left hash. He'll line it up, and it's blocked. Coffeyville comes up with a stop and able to recover at the 30-yard line.
Amazing stop there by the Coffeyville defense, and quite the play, being able to recover it, as Coffeyville has had good, at least their defense has had a pretty good turnout with turnovers, so being able to recover that ball right there was a great advantage.
So Highland's drive started at the 39, and it ended at the 5-yard line with a block kick, and Valjean Jones got in there for the recovery. Did not catch who blocked the kick, but Coffeyville defense comes up big. And now we'll see Lois Jackson in the gun, starting at the 30-yard line of the Coffeyville. He'll turn and throw, looking for Rufflin. He makes a move to the 40, to the 45, and pushed out around midfield. A nice catch and run of about 20 yards.
Rufflin, one of the receivers you just saw catch right there. Quite the playmaker for Coffeyville, as he does have the speed and is able to have that complete pass with Jackson.
Like you said, McKenna, Juwan Rufflin, one of the big top receivers on this team. Most catches with 23, 440 yards, and 1 touchdown on the year. And now we'll see Lois Jackson pick it up at the 49 of Highland. He'll hand it off to Henderson, and he pushes forward for about a 10-yard gain. And he'll get up there for first down yardage. Or they might mark him a little short. I think they need a yard. Trying to hurry up quick. Aloysius Jackson handed off that right side, and Henderson stopped. So bringing it to a 3rd and 2. That was Kendrick Calatis, the linebacker. Came in there, able to shut him down and hold Coffeyville to a 3rd and 1. So 7 minutes to play. Lace in the gun. Hands it off that right side. Anderson got some room, has to break off a defender, falls forward to at the 29-yard line. That was Amandro Forfan, 6'5", sophomore of Memphis, Tennessee. Tough name to pronounce, up to the 31-yard line. 1st and 10. Williams on the keeper, has to juke out. A defender pushes upfield to about the 19-yard line. A nice juke move.
A good run by Jackson right there, pushing this Coffeyville offense closer and closer to the Highland red zone.
And now we will see a timeout. Coffeyville takes their first and timeout of the ball game with 6:15 left in this first quarter. And again, we got off to a late start because the volleyball team had district play and they made it to the championship game and able to come away with a victory. And it was a nice, close, and very tight, closely played game. And they were able to come out with the victory, and we were so happy for them. And then we had to hurry up to Veterans Memorial Stadium because they're in kind of opposite ends of Coffeyville, and able to get here just in the nick of time to see Coffeyville block that field goal, and it was much needed here early on in this game. So 6:23 left to play, and Coffeyville getting into the end zone, the red zone of Highland, into the 20-yard line. Seeing a bit of throwing and running from Aloysius Jackson, and he's back in the gun with Henderson, his deep back. And he'll hand it off. Trying to search for some room. Has to throw off a defender and falls to the ground. That's, again, Kendrick Caddis, the linebacker, coming in there for the stop and sending Henderson back for a 2-yard loss. So making it a longer 2nd and 12. A delayed snap. Throwing up high in the deep corner of the end zone. That's caught. But is he out of bounds? And it is. That is caught by Juwan Ruffin for 22 yards. Coffeyville gets on the board quickly with a nice 20-yard completion from Aloysius Jackson and Juwan Ruffin. And what a way to start the game, McKenna.
Yeah, I mean, you see Juwan get that complete pass around the 35. And then this touchdown completed pass, very good for Coffeyville to have an early start to this game.
So a flag comes in.
You know, this offense or this O-line really needed to dominate this game, and we can already tell that that is what they're doing.
Yeah, Henderson is running the ball quite well and giving Aloysius enough time to throw that 20-yard pass to Juwan Ruffin and putting 6 home. And now we'll see Tristan Bailey on for the PATs, 30 for 30 on the year for PATs. That's #1 in the conference, and we'll see him kick his 31st and see if he can put on 7 points for the Red Ravens. And it was good, up and good. So 7 points for the Red Ravens on a 20-yard pass from Aloysius Jackson to Juwan Ruffin. So this drive started at the 30-yard line of Coffeyville. They traveled the distance 70 yards, and then a 20-yard pass from, again, Ruffin and Aloysius Jackson.
As we will see Highland getting the ball back here, Coffeyville would really need to identify. No, excuse me. As Highland's offense comes out, Coffeyville will really want to put the pressure on their quarterback, as well as trying to make this a passing game.
And we'll see Trey Willis out there, 6'3", freshman out of Griffin, Georgia. And we'll see, again, Tristan Bailey kicking it off from the 35-yard line. And like you said, McKenna, they need to get pressure, and one of their top pressurers for Coffeyville is Carlos Taylor. He has 5.5 sacks this year, and hopefully we'll see him in this ball game for the Red Ravens. And now we'll see Highland as the kick goes back in the out of bounds, so that's a penalty. Or I believe that it just went out of bounds. So ball will be at the 25-yard line is where they'll mark it, and the Highland Scotties will take over. Now with 5:49 left in the first quarter, the Scotties take over at their own 25. Their last possession ended in a blocked field goal. And now we'll see him driver incomplete to his wide receiver. That was Trey Willis, the intended wide receiver, just on the little out pattern, the check down. And now it brings up a 2nd and 10.
This Coffeyville defense is doing a good job on putting pressure on and making sure that there are no completed passes.
Scotties are more of a running team. Only average 97 yards through the air and only average 19 points per game. And now we'll see driver back in the gun, hands it off, tripped up after a gain of 3. That was Justin Reyes. Freshman out of Atlanta takes his first carry of tonight. And it looks to be a 3rd and 7. Coffeyville needs a stop. They got one on their first possession on defense, and now they'll need a second one. Handoff, a delayed run, tripped up. He is there for the first down yardage. Robert Hayes with the tackle. And Robert Hayes is the KJCC Defensive Player of the Week. Robert Hayes had 3 interceptions last week. Gets the tackle right there to save a big run. And now we'll see Coffeyville send a little blitz. 2 wide receivers at the top of the screen. Driver looks to throw, has a man open, overthrows his receiver. That's Trey Parker on the intended receiver. He got loose in the Coffeyville secondary.
Yeah, this Coffeyville defense is doing a good job utilizing their playmakers in order to keep Highland from inching down to their red zone.
So this brings up a 2nd and 10. And we're seeing a penalty. It is declined. Brings up 2nd down. Did not catch what the penalty was on. Now we'll see Zach Burks enter the game for the Red Ravens. And the Scotties taking their time. We saw on the last possession for Coffeyville, they were really trying to hurry up. And they got down the field for 7 points. Jawan Rufflin took a catch for 20 yards to the house. Now we'll see Driver back in the gun. He fakes the handoff. Sellers on his back, throws it up high, and it's short. Almost intercepted by Valjean Jones. And that brings up a 3rd down.
You know, you'd think right here you'd see Highland try and run the ball. Does not look like that is what they're trying to attempt, as there have been numerous incomplete passes thanks to the Coffeyville defense.
Yeah, it looks like the Scotties are trying to mix it up. And they threw a pass in here. And now McKenna might be an obvious passing situation for the Scotties. 2 wide receivers to the near side, one at the top of your screen. Driver steps back in the gun, looking up the middle. Gets hit as he throws, leaves it short, intercepted. Intercepted by Valjean Jones.
He got his chance there.
He went up high against Stephen Delane, the fullback, and able to come away with the interception, the turnover.
And that's, you know, that's just like the nightmare starting right here for Highland, as you do not want to get picked off. And as you could tell, there were pretty much all those attempts were passing. And as I mentioned before, I would have utilized the rushing game to see as it was not working in order to avoid that situation. And now Coffeyville is back behind the ball.
Coffeyville will start at their own 33. Handoff met quickly. And Lorraine Young was the first one to get there. But a nice gain on 1st down for 3 yards.
Well, Coffeyville has some good field position right here, too.
Last possession, they started at the 30-yard line, and now they're starting at their own 33. Quick outlet to Henderson. And he'll take it up to the 41-yard line, maybe 42, depending on where they spot it. Brings up a short 3rd and 2, and they'll try and hurry up quickly. Lois Jackson back in the gun with Chio in front of him, and Henderson next to his side. And Coffeyville's wide receivers will switch formation. Lois on the bootleg, looking to the near side, and he chooses Wiggins. And they're going to say that ball hit the ground. So bring it up a 4th and 2. And Coffeyville will have to punt.
We'll see this Highland offense come back out, have another chance. Maybe they'll utilize their running game, as the passing game has not been successful so far.
So the interception of Val Jean Jones goes for a 4 and out for the Red Ravens. And now we'll see the dangerous punt returner back, Trey Barnett. And he'll have to retreat. So Highland will start at the 20-yard line. A nice boot from Cooper Lee. And last possession, like we mentioned, driver step back, got hit as he threw an interception to Val Jean Jones. And now we'll see the Scotties back on offense. Driver in the gun. He'll keep it on the read option. Hit quickly by Jones. So a nice gain of about 10. They'll mark him a yard short, so 2nd and 1. We'll put the Scotties. Driver with 2 backs at his side and 2 wide receivers out for him. He'll keep it on the option. Got a blocker in front of him. And he almost fumbled. He had Trey Maritez Raybon right in front of him. Driver did, the big blocker. And Coffeyville still able to get in there for the tackle and hold him to a no gain. Driver keeps it. Again on the read option. Tackled from behind by Brian Miller.
Coffeyville holding the Highland offense to no gain on yardage.
They picked up a 1st down, but this drive is kind of stalling. We'll put them to a 2nd and 8. Coffeyville has the lead early, 7-0. And this first quarter is winding down. 1:20 left. Missed snap. That's picked up by Coffeyville. Another turnover for the Red Ravens. That is Fannin Fines coming in there, the 6'5" redshirt freshman from Youngstown, Ohio. A nice job by reading the play and diving on the loose ball.
Yeah, Fanone had really good reads right there, able to see that and make sure he could make that stop right there. This Coffeyville defense is really showing out tonight.
Nice heads-up play by Fanone and able to turn the field position. Coffeyville. Jackson winds back, throws it to his outlet pass. Able to find a quick outlet pass to Ronald Black. They'll put him forward 4 yards up to the 28. Jackson back in the gun next to his running back Henderson. Quarterback keeper to the right side, trying to get outside the numbers and met by the cornerback Demarion Williams coming up there and cracking the quarterback Aloysius Jackson. Now brings up a 3rd and 6. And this will likely be the end of the first quarter. As they're trying to get a play off. They just do. Lois Jackson takes it off. Read option. Gets bounced around and finally pushes forward. And that is good for a Red Raven. First down up to the 19-yard line, or 15-yard line of the Highland Scotties. So the end of the first quarter, Coffeyville leads 7-0 over Highland Community College.
Well, this is what you wanted to see too. Is Coffeyville coming into this game 3-6. Trying to get their third win in a row. Their run and pass protection has to be good, and as we can see from their first quarter, Coffeyville has utilized their weapons. Their running game with Henderson as well as their passing game with Jerron Rufflin. Also, their defense has really stepped up. As the past games that they have played, really some big playmakers that we've seen. We've seen Robert Hayes and Vernon Dasher. I mean, we didn't only talk about him last game as we did have other playmakers in, but the defense is really looking nice.
Yeah, the defense has really held up. Highlands had 3 possessions on offense, and the first one ended in a blocked field goal. The second ended in an interception from Valjean Jones, and then we just saw a fumble recovery by Fannin Fine. So not a good offensive start from Highland, but the defense from Coffeyville stepping up. And now we'll see Lois Jackson with some movement up front. And a little end-around play and read out by the Scotties. As that was Dominic Stampley on the end around, a gain of none, and brings it still to a 2nd and 10. Ball at the Scotties' 14-yard line. Coffeyville inside the red zone. Two wide receivers out to either side. Lois Jackson in the gun. Fake handoff. Rufflin has to make a defender miss. Inside the 10, he'll go. A nice open tackle by Darius Johnson, the defensive back, freshman out of Gray, Georgia, for the Scotties. And that puts Coffeyville at the Scotties' 10-yard line, and they'll have a 3rd and 6. They'll need to travel up to the 4-yard line of the Scotties to get a first down. They got 3 wide receivers at the top of your screen and 1 to the near side. And Lois Jackson will step back to throw. Now he wants to run, and then he elects to throw the back end zone. So a lot of things happening as it looked like Lois had a chance to run the ball, but he elected to pass it, and it was incomplete to Ronald Block. And now we'll see a field goal opportunity for Tristan Bailey. Again, Tristan Bailey's 9 of 15 on the year. And this is a 27-yard field goal from that left hash. That is up, and it is good. So a nice drive for Coffeyville, ending in a field goal from Tristan Bailey, a 27-yard field goal.
Coffeyville with the 10-0 lead early on into this second quarter.
So a drive from Coffeyville ends in a 27-yard field goal from Tristan Bailey and making it a 10-0 ball game. So Highland's fumble ended in 3 points for the Red Ravens. And now we'll see him kick off. Again, we'll see Tristan Bailey kick off from the 35-yard line. we'll see Demarion Williams back for the Scotties. And Trey Willis. Nice low kick, and that will also get out of bounds. That's the second time this game that's happened.
Well, and you figure when, they start off back kicking that you don't want Highland to be in good field position, and Coffeyville is really being able to utilize that tonight.
Again, their defense able to first force a turnover on every Highland possession. A blocked field goal, an interception, and a fumble. And now we'll see what the Scotties can do on their fourth possession opening this second quarter. 13:38 left in this second quarter. And now we're seeing the ball be placed at the 35.
Well, it's one thing, Highland, they need to be able to be successful on opening drives and be able to be successful with making complete passes. Not being able to do that and having that pressure in the quarterback it's really like a turn for the worst.
So now 2 wide receivers at either side. The Scotties get the ball at their own 35. Driver hands it off up the middle. Coffeyville able to get him, but not before he gets 5 yards. That's Kevin Norris on the tackle.
Highland now utilizing their running game as passing game has not been successful, gaining as much yardage as they can, seeing as they sit with no points on the board.
So now we'll see a new running back check in, Justin Riaz. We saw him take 1 carry. Man in motion. End around for Trey Willis. He'll take it all the way to about the 43-yard line on the other side of the field. That's a gain of 23 for the Scotties.
Just the game they were looking for, being able to efficiently push this O-line on down the field.
So Scotty's been pushing it up the middle and then get Coffeyville with the end around, working it outside. And works for 23 yards. And now back to the ground for Riaz. And a good first down yardage, about 8 yards, taking it all the way up to the 35. They'll call it 7 yards. So a 2nd and 3 coming up for the Scotties. Second and 3. Ball on that left hash, and 2 wide receivers the near side. And again, another handoff for Riaz, and it's stopped in the backfield. That's Trent Sellers. Gets into the backfield and able to shut down the running game. Trent Sellers, 6'5", redshirt freshman out of Fayetteville, Georgia. Also a bounce back from Georgia Tech. And he gets in there for the stop. Now we'll see Darius Clark checking the game for the defensive line of Coffeyville. And we'll see a 3rd and 6 coming up. Ball at the 37 of Coffeyville. 1 wide receiver at the top of your screen, and we'll see an option play. Looks like driver is going to try and run it. He gets hit from the backfield. Stopped for a loss. That's James Lewis, a redshirt freshman out of Tulsa, Oklahoma. Comes from the backside. Able to chase driver down for a loss. And that brings up 4th down, and the Scotties will have to send their punt team out there.
Good stops by this Coffeyville defense, being able to make those reads and execute correctly.
So we'll see the punting unit. And we'll see Earl Brew back for the Red Ravens. Low snap. Short kick. And that will take 1 bounce. And it's Coffeyville bounce into the back of the end zone for a touchback. So Coffeyville will get started with their 4th possession.
Coffeyville's done a pretty good job defensively, being able to stop both the passing and the rushing game, as Highland has just struggled offensively trying to move the ball downfield.
So, last possession, they got a fumble inside Highland territory, able to get a 27-yard field goal from Tristan Bailey, and they'll have another shot at it to go 80 yards to start the ball at the 20-yard line. And we'll see Aloysius Jackson out there in the gun. 2 wide receivers to either side. He'll try and throw the out pattern. Incomplete. Intended for Dominic Stampley. Darion Williams was right there. So brings up a 2nd and 10. Aloysius Jackson, screenplay, and the Scotties will corral that one for a loss. Again, Dominic Stampley and Davion Johnson right there for the tackle. So brings up a long 3rd and 12, and this is not where you want to be for Coffeyville's offense. Again, a likely passing situation for Aloysius Jackson. You've got 2 wide receivers at the top of your screen, 1 in motion. Looks to pass. Now looking for the screenplay. Now just has to roll out. Oh, and he throws an interception. Javion Jones, 6'2", freshman out of Xenia, Ohio. And it looked like Aloysius was just trying to throw it out of bounds. And we're seeing a flag. And that penalty will be declined. And Scotties will take over in Coffeyville's territory.
This might be the break that Highland was looking for, being able to pick off Jackson and have such good positioning right here to get into Coffeyville's red zone, hopefully to get some points up.
Last possession ended in a punt, and they'll get another possession, their 5th of the ball game. Ball sits at the 25-yard line, and driver in the pistol formation. He'll keep it on the read option, makes a man miss, and gets out of bounds, but not before he gets the first down.
Coffeyville defense really going to have to make sure they make those stops right here. As is seeing Highland efficiently right now moving this ball closer and closer to Coffeyville's red zone. Again, this could be the break for Highland. Just Coffeyville would really need to make big stops right here.
D.D. Hall in the game for a running back next to driver. 2 wide receivers at the top of your screen, 1 in motion. And D.D. Hall will take it. Stopped in the backfield. The defensive wall for Coffeyville comes up big on that play to leave him short of the line of scrimmage. Brings up a 2nd down.
And right here, Logan, I feel that Highland would want to utilize their passing game here, as it has not been successful with being as close as they are right now. I would go ahead and utilize that passing game.
2nd and 14. Ball sits at the 19-yard line. We'll see driver right next to his running back. D.D. Hall will take the ball, trying to find the outside. Tripped up by the cornerback crew, or I believe the linebacking crew, Kevin Norris, for a stop. They'll get back to the original line of scrimmage. So a 3rd down, and Coffeyville needs to get off the field. And Highland is searching for some points. 8 minutes left at 3rd and 10. They'll need to get the ball to about the Coffeyville 5-yard line for a first down. Two wide receivers out. And a keeper. And Coffeyville comes up big. That's Brian Miller, Trent Sellers, getting him in the backfield, and that will leave him short of a first down, way in the backfield for a 4-yard loss. And it's a 4th and 14, and we'll see the field goal unit come out here, and William Solomon will attempt another field goal. The last one got blocked. From that middle of the field. Kick is up. It's blocked again. Coffeyville gets another block. And it looks like the ball is on the ground. Big scruffle. And Coffeyville comes up with another crucial blocked field goal to allow no points for Highland.
Error on Coffeyville early on with that interception by Jackson, but they sure have made up for it right here with a second blocked kick for Coffeyville, able to obtain the ball once again.
Again, did not see who blocked that field goal, but Coffeyville defense allowing Highland with 5 possessions already on offense and have not put up a point on every single one. They got in the red zone already twice, and they blocked 2 field goals already, and now we'll see Aloysius in the gun. Pitch play to Henderson, and again wrapped up in the backfield. A long run for Justin Henderson. So Aloysius, 2 wide receivers out. Justin Henderson to his right. 6:20 left to play. Trying to find that right side. And I believe gets back to, again, the original line of scrimmage. And it looked like Jeremiah Hill wrapped him up from the linebacking core.
And Jeremiah Hill leads Highlands defense in tackles. So that is one guy that Coffeyville would really want to watch out for.
Still have not seen Ronnie Jameson from the Highlands offense, one of the top receivers. But we'll bring up a 3rd and 9 for Coffeyville and a flag. And a false start. That'll send Coffeyville back 5 yards. And if a 3rd and 9 wasn't tougher enough, they'll throw them back 5 yards and make it even tougher. Coffeyville has struggled on third down this year. Only 29% thus far on the season. They are 26% in conference play. Now they'll sit at a 3rd and 14. Lois will hand it off. Again, outside. Running has not worked. As Jeremiah Hill, again, the leading tackler, coming up there and making the tackle. And they'll have to punt. So Cooper Lee back to punt. Sitting around the 6-yard line. Oh, almost blocked. A nice boot. End over end kick and a nice Coffeyville bounce. Picking it up at the 43-yard line. Or 37-yard line.
Highlands offense coming out on the field. Hopefully they will be able to move the ball downfield efficiently. Having Ronnie Jameson, targeting him as one of their playmakers at wide receiver would be a really good opportunity for them to be able to move that ball downfield.
So about a 44-yard punt from Cooper Lee, and Driver back in the gun, trying to lead the Scotty's offense for their first points. He pulls it back, now looking for a wide receiver, and Coffeyville running right there with him. Did not see where the penalty happened. Albert Howard was the intended wide receiver, and it looked like the defender was running right there with him. If he may have tugged on his shoulder, that's the only way I could have seen it, and we'll go against Coffeyville.
There haven't been many flags thrown tonight as there have been in previous games against Coffeyville, so that is a good advantage for Coffeyville tonight as they are leading on the board with 10 points.
Nice to see Eric Gilmore back on the field. He's been injured most of the year. Sits there at the defensive back on the lower third of your screen. And now Driver back in the gun. He'll take the ball with the two leading blockers. He'll push forward for about a 5-yard gain. So after that penalty, a nice 5-yard run from Driver. They got 4:15 left to play in this first half. And the ball sits at Coffeyville's 46. And a fake. Driver will keep it. And he'll be run down by Trent Sellers. Another tackle for Trent Sellers, bringing it 3rd and 5. And just about a no gain, maybe a yard. And they'll give him a loss of 2. So making it even tougher, 3rd and 7. And we'll see what this Highland Scotty's offense can muster. 1 wide receiver at the top and 2 to the bottom of your screen. And we'll see Driver and Coffeyville sending blitz. Roll out. He's got a blocker in front of him. He takes off. And he gets close to that 40, needed to the 39. So that is a first down. A nice run from Driver for 6 yards.
Driver making some really good reads right here, being able to move this ball on down. This Coffeyville defense needs to be able to make some stops right here.
First and 10. Coffeyville sending 5. End around. Coffeyville sniffs it out. That's stopped in the backfield. That's Kevin Norris. And Miles Corping also on the tackle. The redshirt freshman out of Charlotte, North Carolina. Both rating out the end around play and stopping him in the backfield. And now bringing up a 2nd and 15. And that play has worked a couple times, but that time they sniffed it out. So another bootleg for Driver. He's chased down and has to throw it out of bounds. Nice job by Jacob Rodman and putting the pressure on Driver and making him throw it out of bounds. And he'll live to fight another day on 3rd and 15. Ball again sits at the 40-yard line. Or I believe at the 45-yard line, excuse me. So Narcos Driver back in the gun. Stepping back. Now takes off. And tagged down from behind. A nice play by Darius Clark. Able to run him down. And if he didn't, he would have got that extra 5 yards for the first down. So a 4th and 5 in a interesting decision. And it looks like Coach Arnold in his 4th year trying to roll the dice and go for it with this 4th and 5. A minute 20 left in the second quarter. And Narcos driver in the gun. Steps back under pressure. Vernon Dasher. He came up big to make that sack. Vernon Dasher with his 2nd sack on the season. And that one comes up big as he'll turn it over to his offense with the 1st and 10. And the ball will be at the 45-yard line of the Red Ravens.
As we've mentioned, Vernon Dasher in previous games, really quite the playmaker. Coffeyville, when they needed him the most, he came out and did his job. So really good stop right there, able to get Coffeyville the ball back in hopes to efficiently move the ball back down into the Highland red zone.
So we've seen a touchdown from Aloysius Jackson to Ruffin for 20 yards. And that was good for 7 points. And then we saw a 27-yard field goal from Tristan Bailey. And now Coffeyville's offense is working with a minute 13 left. And the ball sits at the 45-yard line of the Red Ravens. And now we'll see what Jackson and Cheeto and Henderson and 2 wide receivers to the near side and top as they'll hand it off to Henderson. Oh, I believe that was Winton Ruth. So good at 7 yards from Winton Ruth. Puts the ball at the 48. Another carry for Ruth.
As he is getting closer and closer to getting that first down, as we are now at about 45 seconds left in this second quarter.
So a stop of play. I'm not reading if it's a timeout or not. The smart decision would be to take a timeout. As we're seeing Jeff Leiker, one of the Hall of Famers for Coffeyville, and Aaron Flores in his 6th year doing the head coaching duties. And they'll have a 3rd and 2. And I believe the Scotties took a timeout to try and figure out what to do on the defensive end.
Well, Logan, closing down on the second quarter, what do you feel that Highland would need to do to be able to produce next half?
For the Ravens?
Well, for Highland, I mean offensively, because we've seen they've struggled with the passing and the rushing game.
Well, it seems like they need to get Driver in rhythm. They have not given him much rhythm passing. And by what I mean by that is just giving him short routes that he complete and get his accuracy up and get him more involved into the offense. He's done a lot of read options, but I'd like to see him throw the ball and give the Coffeyville defense a second look about their offense, and maybe that'll help him out move down the field. Now we'll see Aloysius Jackson on the quarterback keeper, and we'll see a flag.
Good carry right there by Jackson.
And then obviously Highland's got to stay away from turnovers as they've had an interception, a fumble, and 2 blocked field goals. And another thing, on the interception that Valjean Jones got, Driver didn't have much time to throw the ball. He was hit as he was thrown, and that kind of allowed for the interception. So give him some time, get him some rhythm throws, and maybe that will help him get back on target. I mean, he's only got 90 yards passing this year, as he's normally a tight end, probably a quarterback in high school, you got to think. So get him in rhythm and give that Coffeyville defense a second look about how their offense, because they're gearing up for running. They're running. So now Aloysius Jackson back in the gun. He'll take off running. He's got some room, using the extra speed to get up to the 42-yard line.
Well, Jackson, as of last week's game, had his first rushing touchdown. So he is using that speed when he does come out the pocket in order to gain yardage.
And nice awareness from Aloysius Jackson to run, get out of bounds. You only got 31 seconds left. So you saved yourself a timeout, unless they took one right now. So a little stalling of play right here. I believe they had to reset the clock back to 33 seconds. It ran off to 26. And now Coffeyville offense at the 41-yard line of the Scotties, trying to move the ball. Jackson getting away. Nice awareness to save the sack opportunity and just throw the ball away and keep the ball where it's at and not lose any yardage. So Coffeyville, 27 seconds left, and they got to move. They only got 27 seconds, up by 10 points. Jackson trying to air it out, looking left side, and no one home.
You see Jackson is struggling to make complete passes. Looks like Highland's defense is beginning to...
Well, I don't think Loyas really got planted. I think he kind of stumbled down, and the best opportunity for him was just to throw it away and save the loss of yardage. And now 21 seconds left, a 3rd and 10. Highland only sending in 4, back in coverage. Gives Aloyas some running room to the 30 and gets knocked down. Coffeyville's got to use a timeout.
We are now at 13 seconds on the clock.
In McKenna, we've seen Tristan Bailey kick a 27-yard field goal. And they have an opportunity to go for this one as long as it's 36. So if you're Coach Leck or Coach Flores, do you heave one to the end zone? You got one more timeout, or I believe no timeouts, excuse me. And or you let your pretty reliable kicker thus far this late in the season. He's been a lot better, kind of coming around as he was one of the players of the week. So,
well, I'm no head coach or anything. I'm nowhere close. But if I was in Coach Leiker's shoes, I would go ahead and kick it. I mean, offense is pretty much what wins games. So being able to get as much points as you can on the board, I would go ahead and do that, seeing as reliable as Tristan has been so far.
So again, 13.9 seconds left to play. And it looks like Coach Leiker and Coach Flores going to go for it.
Well, and Jackson has not disappointed as we've seen him make many complete passes, also utilize his running.
Throwing for the end zone. Looking for Derek Wiggins. Incomplete. Now they got 9 seconds left. They get ball after half. So, an interesting decision to keep his offense on the field. You're looking at a 43-yard field goal. And okay, so now we'll get the special teams back on the field for this 43-yard field goal from Tristan Bailey from that left hash. The wind, not really a factor. Kick is up. Looks to be good. A nice kick from Tristan Bailey ends the drive for the Red Ravens. And they put up another 3 points with 4.5 seconds left. Tristan Bailey knocks through a 43-yard field goal.
Well, you know that special teams has got to be pretty excited right now as Tristan has really dominated on pretty much every opportunity he's had to be able to kick.
So his new career longest is 43. His previous was 36. And now his career total is 10 for 16. And now we'll see the Scotties get one opportunity just to return it. We'll take a knee and play one down of football. Again, Coffeyville coming in the ball game with a 2-win streak. First win was over Iowa Central 45-21. And then they previously, last week, got a win over Dodge City 62-28. So putting up a lot of points. And they average around 37.4 points per game. And that's the first in the conference. And Scotties are 3-5. Trying to get their fourth win. Both these teams trying to get their fourth win. Short squib kick. And that will leave them with 1 second left.
Highland doesn't really have much to work here with the second left, but coming into the second half after we are done with this second quarter, as Logan mentioned earlier, hopefully Driver will be able to have some rhythm with his drives and be able to have some good reads.
And they'll just take a knee. So that will put us at halftime. We'll get you back for some stats as you're watching Red Raven TV. Check. All right, we're back with second half play. Did not get stats. They were not there for us to have. So we'll get back. And Highland will get the ball to start the second half. And we'll see a return. Trying to cut it up to the north. He's running side to side. Cut down around the 29-yard line. And I was actually wrong, McKenna, about Coffeyville getting the ball at the half. And Highland actually got the ball at the half. And nice return by Darion Williams. He got it up to the 30-yard line for the Scotties to start off this second half.
Hopefully their offensive line will be able to move the sticks quite efficiently downfield, get some points on this second half of the game.
Handoff up the middle. Gain of 2 on first down. That was a carry by, I believe, D.D. Hall on first down. Now we'll see Driver back in the gun. Coffeyville showing blitz. Stepping back, looking deep. And he doesn't have a man there. Coffeyville's got it all covered up. As he was looking for Albert Howard down the field.
Good coverage by Coffeyville, making sure that Driver did not have any receivers open to be able to complete that long pass. Really able to put the pressure on him, making sure he can't have any completions is a good start for this Coffeyville defense.
Kind of what we alluded to early in the first half. When you kind of asked me, how can Highland get back in this game? And I said, get Driver in rhythm. And they went deep. Not able to complete that one. Handoff again, up the middle. He's got a hole to midfield. And that second burst will just get him inside the 10-yard line. A nice second effort from Coffeyville to track him down.
Huge run right there.
As he kind of took off, he had a huge hole, and Valjean Jones came from behind, able to trip him up. Nice run by Justin Reyes. Puts him at the 9-yard line. A nice, huge run of about 45 yards, 41 yards.
Their biggest one yet of tonight's game.
Now inside Coffeyville's 10-yard line. A quick pass, overshoots his intended target. Looking for Steven Delane, the fullback. Excuse me, that was a 61-yard run by Riaz. My math is kind of all jumbled up right now. And now the Coffeyville defense has got to get a stop. Second and goal line from the 9-yard line. Two wide receivers at top, one in motion. Handoff up the middle. Coffeyville able to get in there. Allow him just to push forward for a couple yards. So now a big third down. And you wonder if Coach Arnold for Highland is going to be kind of scared here to kick a field goal. He's had 2 of them blocked. And
yeah, he has. And, you know, Highland, they're sitting at 0 points on the board. So whatever they can do to get something.
Riaz right next to Driver. Fumbled snap. And Trent Sellers right there to make sure he can't get any more yardage after he dove on it. And now they'll bring up a fourth down. And we'll see if Coach is going to roll the dice. I don't think he is. He's going to bring out Solomon. You got 2 of them blocked here tonight, like we said. And this one, 29-yard field goal. See if Coffeyville will send everyone and try and get the 3rd block of the night. Almost did, and that one is no good. Coffeyville again, no points. As they sent everyone, they almost got someone there. Unfortunately for Highland, it's a no good.
Every attempt Highland has had, unfortunately, has not been successful. Coffeyville has done an outstanding job making sure to be at the right place at the right time, blocking the previous 2 kicks. And just as Coffeyville's luck, Highland kick just now is no good as they remain 13-0 on the scoreboard early on in this 3rd quarter.
Loyas back to throw. Quick out pattern. Drug down. As that's caught by, I believe, Devontae Jones. Only went for 3 yards. On the tackle and coverage, Javon Jones. Up the middle, he's got an interception, Javon Jones, and now we'll see a run up the middle from Justin Henderson. And then Kendrick Caddis able to bring him down, and now it's a 3rd and 2 for this Coffeyville offense on their opening possession of the 2nd half. Loyas steps back. Miscommunication. He was looking for that right side. And that will leave Coffeyville offense to punt. Now we'll see Cooper Lee punting from the Coffeyville 28-yard line. A nice boot. And a decent bounce goes out of bounds at the 24.5, I'll call it. And a nice kick from Cooper Lee. "47-yard boot from Cooper Lee sends them back in their own territory at the 25 of the Scotties. 10:51 left in this 3rd quarter. And Scotties will get another opportunity. Their last possession, their opening possession, was a missed field goal. And now they'll start off trying to find some room on that right side. Upended, but not after a gain of 14 yards. D.D. Hall. Miles Plummer able to come back from that defensive back position, make the tackle. Not allow D.D. Hall to get any more yards. We saw a 61-yard run by D.D. Hall, and he is racking up the yards in the 2nd half. 2 wide receivers at the top of your screen, 1 to your bottom. A read keeper. Driver, he's got some room. If he can make another man miss at the 20, inside the 10, and he will fall into the end zone.
For a touchdown. As Highland just now is able to get some points on the board. Very good run by Driver. Good read as he was able to make a break for it. And
that was a 61-yard run for Driver. And that one went in for 6 points, and they'll have a chance again for 7. So just a PAT for Solomon And finally, William Solomon sees something go through the uprights with the PAT. And now we'll see Driver as he got past Vernon Dasher and really had Javon Burse and that safety to beat. Stiff arm into the end zone, and he really had a big hole, and he took advantage of it for a touchdown and put up 7 points. And now they're down 6, McKenna. And they're looking to be right back in this ball game, and their offense, with a couple field goals that weren't blocked, could be a tie game.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you're seeing already just in this third quarter, Highland is able to answer back with everything that's happened in the first half. Hopefully they will be able to continue to do that with their offense, as they have had 2 big runs, one by Driver and the other by help me out here, Logan.
D.D. Hall.
D.D. Hall, yes. So hopefully we will be able to continue to see that tonight.
So we'll kick off, fielded at the 6-yard line. He'll have some room to run. He's still on his feet to around the 33-yard line is where he'll mark him. A nice return by Dominic Stampley. Dominic Stampley takes it up the 20-yard line, and a nice block right there. He got that block, and then it saved him a couple yards. And he just had to run out of bounds from there.
Yeah, Stampley has been a name we have said quite often tonight, as he is making some progress with this Coffeyville offense.
Henderson still on his feet. And he gets pushed forward to about the 46-yard line. A nice run and a nice block. And he's almost lost the ball right there. Was wobbling it in his hands. And now we'll see back to Henderson. And not to mention Ruben Lewis with a nice block on that last play. Allowed Henderson to push forward for the huge yardage. Jackson back to pass. He's got time. Airing it out deep, looking for a receiver. Intercepted at the 11-yard line.
An unfortunate miscommunication right there by Jackson. But a great advantage for this Highland team, as they have just now put 7 on the board and hopes now to be able to put some more.
And Darius Johnson, the 5'11 freshman, went up tall to catch that over the taller wide receiver 6'2 Derek Wiggins, the linebacker, 5'11, able to get the interception. And now the Scotties back in position to take a lead if they can march down the field. Handoff up the middle. A lot of black shirts around him.
This Coffeyville defense answers with a big stop right here.
As he really had no holes to work with. Coffeyville really gearing up for the run. Now Driver back in the gun. Handoff. Again, same kind of result. And it seems like the Scotties are sticking with D.D. Hall in their running back. Got the last 2 carries and did the bulk of carrying on the last possession. Took 161 yards and a missed field goal. But then he came around in the next possession and ran one for 20-plus yards. And now a 3rd and 10 for the Scotties. 1 wide receiver at the top of your screen and 2 to your bottom. Takes the shotgun snap. A handoff on 3rd down. He's got a hole. Past the 1st down yardage. Has to make one man miss. And Valjean Jones chases him down and punches him out of bounds.
good run right there with this Highland offense. They're really turning around this second half. That is their third big run of the night.
As you can see, not many people wrapping up in the secondary. And nice speed by Valjean Jones. He came behind him out. He was about 10 yards behind him, and he shot up, able to chase him down from behind. And again, a nice 35, about a 35-yard or 30-yard run from D.D. Hall. Handoff to the outside. That's Riaz on that carry. Working off that left side. Zach Burks was able to get off his blocking, off his offensive block and make the tackle. And now a 2nd and 10. Ball is at the 47, entering Coffeyville territory. 7 minutes to play in this third quarter. It's a 2nd and 10 coming up for the Scotties. Hand off to Riaz. Kind of same result.
Looks like Highland is using just about almost all of their downs.
Again, running behind. Off that left side, Sterling Brown was the leading blocker. Just not able to push forward around that left side. And now 6:25 left, a 3rd and 10. Highland needs the first down and put some points on the board to make this more of a ball game. Up the middle, looking for a receiver. Incomplete. Valjean Jones on the incompletion. And we're seeing a flag on the field sitting at the 30-yard line where the play happened. And will they get this pass interference? You saw Jeremiah Balltrip kind of go over the shoulder of his defender. And they're going to give him for pass interference. So you can see Balltrip kind of go over the shoulder. And I think that's where the penalty occurred. So that'll move the Scotties to the 32-yard line and give them extra life. 1st and 10. 6:16 left. Driver keeps the ball on the quarterback keeper. Chased down by behind by, again, Jones. I've said his name a lot.
Yeah, you really have. I mean, he's doing everything possible to make sure Highland does not have any gain on yardage.
A nice block by D.D. Hall. You just saw in that replay. Kind of to spring driver free to get a nice yards on that run. And now we're seeing a penalty. And again, on Coffeyville. So Coffeyville giving them free yardage.
Making it a whole lot easier for this Highland team to maybe tie it up already, just about 6 minutes into the third quarter.
Six minutes left to play. Nari Koos, driver in the gun. Takes the shotgun snap. Keeps it on the read. Inside the 10, he'll slip up. So that's a gain of 3 on first down. Now bring up 2nd down inside the 10-yard line of Coffeyville, needing to stop. Had 2 penalties on this drive that have pushed Highland up the field. And now a goal line situation. Narikus, driver, hands it off up the middle.
That was a no gain. Highland will have another opportunity to try and punch it in.
So 3rd and 7. Excuse me, it's not a goal line situation. They need to get up to the 3-yard line to get a first down. It's a 3rd and 7. Driver in the gun. He'll take it himself, trying to get a lead blocker. And he'll definitely not get the first down yardage he needed. But he'll get just about half of it back. And now we're seeing the field goal unit come on the field. They'll have to settle for a field goal, a 24-yard field goal from Solomon.
Well, as we've seen earlier, Logan, the first 2 were blocked, and the 3rd one was no good.
Kick is up. Kick is good. Solomon comes back, and it makes his 5th attempt here tonight.
As now it is getting, we're at a 3-point deficit now here at the 3rd quarter, 13-10.
Yeah, McKenna, and the lead's kind of slimmed down for Coffeyville. It came out 13 points unanswered. Lead is kind of dimmed down here in the second half. Coffeyville not able to move the ball on offense, and the defense has kind of let up some penalties and let up some free yardage and not come up with the stops they were normally getting in the first half.
Yeah, this Highland team has really turned around already just this second half.
So we'll see Juwan Ruffin back. And I believe that's Devontae Jones. Tough to read up here, but I believe that's what we got. And awaiting a kickoff. Nice boot. Fielded inside the 5 out of his hands. And they'll take the knee. So the offense will get started. That was Dominic Stampley out for the return, excuse me. And it kind of went through his hands, had to take the knee. And now they'll bring the ball up to about the 20-yard line, 25-yard line, and Coffeyville's offense has got to produce.
They really do, and I mean, the defense that was getting all those flags, that's not, that's always a disadvantage for Coffeyville because they seem to get so many just in one game. And, you don't want to give up that yardage to the other team. And unfortunately, Coffeyville has done that. So hopefully they can have a turn of events and not have that happen anymore.
Loyas keeps it. Trying to dance and able to maybe scratch out 2 yards. Able to make 24 miss, push up forward. And then finally, the Scotties corralled him. Jakeem Green, defensive 6'5" freshman, able to get there for the tackle, wrap him up. After Laureen Young kind of got faked out. So Jackson back in the gun. In front of him is Chio. Handed off, a delayed handoff. Henderson. So running off that left side. A nice block to save him from the backfield. Jeremiah Ledbetter. The 6'4" redshirt freshman out of Baca League, Florida. That right guard. And now we'll see Henderson take another 3rd down and 2 snap. And let's see where they'll spot him. And they'll move the chains on 3rd and 2. Coffeyville picks it up. Catch and a run by Devontae Jones. Ronald LeBlanc catches that, excuse me, and shaking off a tackle at the 40. Nice yards after catch for Ronald LeBlanc. And that will put him to another first down and 10. And we're seeing a new quarterback out there. Play clock at 3. Can they get it off? Handoff up the middle. Henderson has a hole at the 40 to the 25. He stumbles, still inside the 10. Dives for the end zone. Did he get there?
It is a touchdown for Coffeyville.
And my God, what a run by Henderson. And Stampley able to get there. You saw him in the middle of your screen, get in front of the defender and allowed Henderson to get back in the touchdown. And a nice block by Finley Felix also on that right side to spring him free. And Coffeyville gets on the board quick. A nice run by Henderson. Now see Tristan Bailey, perfect on PATs all year. Let's not jinx him. Up and good. Coffeyville springs open a lead, 20-10. 1:51 left to play in the third quarter.
Coffeyville answers quickly.
Again, a nice block by Stampley. And another nice run by Justin Henderson. Usually has those games like that where he kind of just pounds it in the middle, gets 3 or 4, 5, 6 yards, and then randomly he just springs one open for 40-plus yards. And that's kind of the back Justin Henderson will give you. A very nice runner, downhill runner for the Red Ravens. And, boy, that was a good run and a dive from the end zone.
Oh, yes. So we're at a minute 50 left in this third quarter. Have a whole nother quarter of football left. We'll see just what this Highland team brings to the table.
Now a boot from Bailey. Fielded at the 10, 11. Bounces off a defender. And you thought if he could have made another man miss, he could have had some more open green left for Darion Williams. Nice juke move. Again. Now we'll see the Scotties take over at their own 32-yard line with the 1st and 10. Need to answer the 7-point Coffeyville put up. Noricos driver hands it off up the middle. Nice run by Riaz. And a gain of 5 on first down, and that's what the Highland has been so good in the second half on first down, picking up 5, 6, 7 yards on first down, and that will help your offense. 1:20 left. Driver will keep it. Searching for a hole. Hurdles a defender. Oh, my God. We'll have to see that one again on the replay. It's always tough to hurdle a defender right in the middle of a pile. That was Valjean Jones. He was trying to hurdle a 6-foot sophomore at Wichita, Kansas.
That's kind of tough to do, huh?
And the Scotties already have quarterbacks that are injured.
You don't want to add another one to that list.
And that's something a player can really get hurt on when they're trying to hurdle a defender when there's other defenders around him ready to hit him.
Right, especially a player who's bigger than you. I mean, that's like, I don't know, trying to hurdle over Cam Newton. I mean, that's a pretty big dude.
Well, Nariku's driver's 6'3", so, I mean, he's a big dude. but and now we're seeing Justin Reyes hurt on the play. So when we get back to action, it's a 3rd and 3. Coffeyville needs to get off the field. And the Scouties need to answer. One wide receiver at the top of your screen, and then there's 2 at the bottom. And they need 3 yards. And off to Reyes, he's met in the backfield. That's a stop for Coffeyville. Took a while for this play to occur. Coffeyville was quickly in the backfield. And now Williams able to come in there for the stop. So with time winding down, 30 seconds left in this 3rd quarter, and Coffeyville will get the ball back.
There is a flag on the play. Looks like it was not sure, but moving on back.
So the Coffeyville returner will sit around the Coffeyville 35, expecting a short punt. Only expecting like a 30-yard punt.
We're winding down.
Yep, they'll take it to the 4th quarter. Coffeyville has the lead, 20-10, and waiting for the ball to come back to them. Down, up by 10 points. And we'll put a fresh 15 on the clock. This is the last game here at Veterans Memorial Stadium for the season, excuse me. Just all mixed up. And Coffeyville will have 1 game left. That game is at Independence. And taking on a very good opponent, which sits at the top of the KJCC and number 5 in the nation, 5-0 conference, and 7-1. So a good opponent next week.
Also, wanted to mention last time you will be is filming down at Independence this year. So just a fun fact out there for all you football fans and who like to watch that show.
So Coffeyville will take a 10-point lead into the 4th quarter. And obviously getting the ball back. And other than a long run from Justin Henderson, not really done a whole lot for the Red Ravens in this second half. And the return man back for the Red Ravens is Devontae Jones. So again, you'll sit right around the 40-yard line. Only expecting like a 35-yard punt is where he's standing, and his game to take it in the 4th quarter is kind of taking a while.
Yeah, it really is.
Now they got the ball spotted, so 4th quarter play is on the way. A missed snap, and he has to run with it. Coffeyville's all over him, and he throws up that ball. Coffeyville now on the return in the end zone. Coffeyville, what a fortunate event.
Yes, what a play that was.
So a missed snap, able to pick it up, and then he tried to throw the ball. Jacob Rodman picked it up, and he had 3 defenders in front of him to work with. And dove for the end zone. And I don't think Jacob Rodman, when he came into the game, expected as a linebacker to get a touchdown. But a nice play to open up the fourth quarter. Now we'll see the PAT attempt from Tristan Bailey. Man, what a incredible event from the Coffeyville special teams. And that is up and good for the PAT attempt. Again, we'll see the replay. And he just tried to throw it up in the air. I don't know what the punter was trying to do right there. That was Lane Spiker. And it fell right into Rodman's hands. And he took it all the way in for the touchdown.
He just took off with it. As this improves Coffeyville's lead, now it is over a 20-point deficit for this Highland team.
Just a tough situation they put their punter Spiker in, as the snap was right at his, bounced into his foot, and already when he looked up, Coffeyville defender right there in his face. So then he had to run, and then he decided to throw the ball, I guess. I don't know what he intended to do right there, but Coffeyville putting up 7 points on the special teams. And now they'll kick off from Tristan Bailey. Return at the 2. Has a hole. Can he break outside the numbers around the 30 and push out of bounds? A nice return from, again, Damian Williams, the 5'11", 170 freshman out of Atlanta, Georgia, just getting outside Miles Plummer. Miles Plummer just angling out of bounds at the 31, and they will get started with the 1st and 10. 14:43 left in this fourth quarter. Coffeyville trying to hold the advantage. Hand off to the right side. D.D. Hall on the carry for about 5 yards. So again, another first down play that went for 7, a 2nd and 3. Ball at the 38. Narcos driver trying to push it down the field. He's down 17. Handoff, trying to find a right side. He gets pushed up and needs an extra push around that first down yardage mark. Running off that right side, and he had a big offensive lineman in front of him. He had Robert Jones right there. And when you have Robert Jones, 6'5", freshman out of Rockford, Illinois, running downfield on you, DD's going to pick up a whole lot of yards. He picked up a first down. Now driver back in the gun. Receiver to the top of your screen and 2. Now they run again. Again, they keep picking up pretty good yardage on first down. And it's able to sustain drives without throwing the ball.
And that's the rhythm that driver was looking for, or that he needed to have in this second half.
Again, they keep running off that right guard tackle, Robert Jones. And now ball at the 49. Quarterback keeper needs extra push for the first down, and it's stripped at the end. I don't think they'll call that. And they're signaling like they got the first down. So they're actually marking him short. They're marking him a whole yard short. It's a 3rd and 1 for the Scotties. Handoff. I don't think he got it. He didn't. The defense comes up big. Again, Coffeyville moving the offensive line back, dominating the line, and Brian Miller and company able to push the running back and leave him a yard short. And again, is Coach Arnold for this guy? He's going to roll the dice and go for it on 4th down. And Driver back in the gun. One wide receiver at the top, and he'll keep it himself. And he gets the extra push, still on his feet, inside the 20, 15, and down at the 12. So Coffeyville thought they had him stuck, and it looked like he just broke free. No one wrapped him up. And Valjean Jones said his name a lot, coming and saving a touchdown. Now the Scotties inside the 20-yard line, inside the 15, in the red zone. Trying to close the deficit. Fumble. And it looks like they were able to fall on it. And a late push. It looked like Torrey Boone, the 6'4" sophomore, able to fall on the fumble, miss snap from the quarterback, and then we saw the push on Ray Bond at the end of the play. So the refs will get together. So, again, still conferring about this flag. It happened after the play. And, yes, it will be against the Scotties. I believe he was on Raybon. The offensive lineman came after and pushed a Coffeyville defender at the end of the play. No needed for that. And that'll cost his team 15 yards. So that'll put them all the way back at the 33-yard line. And they'll need a whole long way to go. They need to get all the way to the 4-yard line. Handoff. Again, Scotty's sticking with the run. A really run-heavy team. Even with a lot of yardage in front of them to get a first down, they still run the ball. So a 3rd and 28 coming up. And let's see McKenna if they can throw the ball. And they will. Dropping back. Driver plants his foot, looking off right side, looking for a receiver up in the air. Batted away. Incomplete.
Well, and that's what you want. You want your team to be able to utilize on the passing and the rushing game, especially if one is not working the way that you want it to.
And a nice job by the receiver just to, he was in double coverage, and he did a nice job just to bat the ball away and allow for no one to catch it. And now you're looking at a 4th and 28. And Coach Arnold still rolling the dice, keeping his offense on the field. Again, this is a long field goal if they were to take it, and they're leaving their offense on the field. Stepping back. Again, looking short of the first down yardage. Way short. Made it to about the 18-yard line, and that was, again, Albert Howard. So interesting call from Coach Arnold just to throw it. And obviously Driver left it short of the first down yardage and turned it over on downs. So 10:06. Coffeyville takes over on downs at the 19-yard line. Hand off. Henderson still on his feet. And he just gets back to the line of scrimmage. Scotty's got there in the backfield and able to wrap him up there at the end. Henderson was trying to bounce it outside. They'll give him a yard. So 9:35 left to play in this fourth quarter. Last game here at Veterans Memorial Stadium for the season. Lois Jackson running this offense. Stampley in motion. Handoff. And Scotty's will wrap him up in the backfield. That's a loss of 2 or 3. A nice job by that linebacking core to get in there. That was Rico Hanna, the linebacker, 6'2", freshman out of Randolph, Clay, Alabama, sneaking in there. And Henderson really had nowhere to go in a loss of 2. A 3rd and 12 for the Red Ravens. Passing. Left side, looking for a receiver. Stop and go route. Do it way off the mark. Looking for Dominic Stampley. Now we'll see Cooper Lee back to punt from the 17-yard line.
Give this Highland offense another opportunity, as they did make some very good stops to this Coffeyville offense.
And Highland will definitely have to work quick. Need some chunk plays. Down 17 with 8:44 left. Nice Coffeyville bounce at the 40-yard line, and now bounce all the way to the 26 of Highland. So a good end over end punt by Cooper Lee. So a 59-yard punt from Cooper Lee. His longest of the season is actually 66. Been a very fine punter again for Coffeyville. 8:34 left to play for the Scotties. They'll have to work quick, down 17. They've had 2 61-yard runs from Hull and Driver. That one sniffed off quick. Falls forward for maybe a yard. So they will just mark him back at the line of scrimmage. The ball will stay at the 26-yard line. Again, a nice 59-yard punt from Cooper Lee. Sticks them back at their own end. Low snap. Able to recover. And Trent Sellers sniffing out in a loss of a yard.
Highland has had a loss of yardage, a good number actually tonight, as they have struggled offensively to be able to push the ball downfield. Now they have been utilizing their running game, which they have had some successful runs. But again, that loss on yardage really does hurt a team.
3rd and 12. Need to sustain a drive. Roll out bootleg. Driver looking deep. He's got a sideline throw, and that's incomplete, out of the hands of Albert Howard. And that brings up a 4th down for the Scotties. Not what they wanted. Down 17 with 7:14 left to play. They needed a big drive. And now Coffeyville get the ball back.
Well, and hopefully this will be a good opportunity for Coffeyville, as they have increased the deficit really well this game.
Devontae Jones back to return. Last punt, it was a bad snap. Jacob Rodman picked it up for a touchdown. This one, he gets it off. Fair catch, wait for. They will mark him at the 45-yard line is where the Coffeyville Red Ravens will start. 7:04 left for the Red Ravens, and they can kill some time and run the ball and just kill as much time as they want. McKenna, they got a lead, and a 3-score lead, and can do what they want.
They really can. I mean, this is a tough deficit to be able to come back to, especially with the time we have in the 4th quarter.
And I'm kind of wondering where Aloysius Jackson went, as I believe the wide receiver Josh Moore came in for quarterback. I believe that's him. High snap. Pitch to Henderson. He gets hit hard in the middle by Mario Dungy. So Coffeyville this season really had a struggle with keeping their quarterbacks healthy. Mo Hassan, first 2 games, hurt his shoulder. Brought in Jack Diamond. Then he unfortunately hurt his shoulder too. Then they have Aloysius Jackson. We don't know where he went. Incomplete. He was looking for Mauricio Chio down the field. He was wide open. And then Mo Hassan actually came back last week, and he broke his hand, I believe. So now they had to start with Aloysius Jackson, and we're wondering where he went, if he got injured on a play. And we're seeing Josh Moore, the wide receiver, out there at quarterback. So incomplete to Mauricio Chio on the last play. Handoff up the middle on 3rd and 7. And that'll just kill some time. We'll give the ball back to Highland with about 5:40 left. So if my math can be all right, 5:40, about 5:38 left, and they draw the play clock down. Another boot from Cooper Lee, almost got there. And that punt will definitely go in the back of the end zone for about a 53-yard punt. So my math was kind of on target. 5:39, the Scotties will get the ball back. Down 3 scores. Last possession ended in a punt. Can't afford the same thing. So the Scotties back there on offense. Pass off to the right side. Go for about 8 yards.
You can see this offense really trying to move the sticks. So we are winding down in this 4th quarter. Highlands really struggled this game offensively. Defensively, they've had some great stops, so offensively it's been pretty tough, but hopefully they can continue to gain some small yardage if they can, being able to have that. and move on to the red zone.
And now see a quarterback keeper from Driver. And then talking about quarterback difficulties, Highlands kind of had the same. They started out the season with Kyle Kearns, and he got hurt, or something happened to him, and then Tristan Spear came in. Again, another sophomore quarterback. Something happened to him, and now we're seeing the tight end, our coach Driver, come in. He's done a fine job moving the ball a little bit. And that's a wobbly pass out of bounds on third down. And we're seeing Brian Miller down on the sideline. So again, another tough decision on 4th and 2. And I believe Coach Arnold will just send his punt team in there. Coach Aaron Arnold in his 4th year, 18-14 as a Scotty. Short punt. Good bounce, and they'll just leave it. 4:26 left. Red Ravens will have the ball. Again, kind of like last possession. Just hand the ball off, kill some time. And you got to think, just punt it back to your defense, which has done a fine job these last 2 possessions of holding the Scotties to a punt. And again, passing the ball. So that's Aloysius Jackson. He came back in the game for the Red Ravens. So good news for the Red Ravens. Nothing happened to Aloysius Jackson. They just wanted Josh Moore in the game, I guess.
Just wanted to rest him, just switch out quarterbacks. I mean, it is a big deficit right here, so.
So interesting decision, throwing the ball and not keeping the clock rolling. Pitch play.
You see a flag thrown?
And I believe that's going to be on Kendrick Caddis.
Is that unsportsmanlike conduct, or?
As you see at the top of your screen, and yes, he was about good 2 steps out of bounds, and Caddis came up there and lowered his shoulder a little bit too late.
That's pretty much intentional.
So Coffeyville will get some yardage, we believe. So yeah, personal foul on the linebacker. Kendrick Caddis, 6'1", a sophomore to Deerfield Beach, Florida. Coffeyville will move up 15 yards. Clock will start. And Henderson just pushes forward for about 2 yards. Rico Hanna on the tackle. 2 yards on the play, 2nd and 8, 3:40 left. Coffeyville just trying to drain the clock and hopefully come away with their 3rd victory on the season. And they're throwing the ball again. That's a long pass. And we're seeing a false start on the field.
Well, Logan, like you said before, Coffeyville's coming in 3-6, hoping to get this 3rd win, and it looks like they're going to be able to get it tonight.
So they'll move them back 5 yards. And as we talked about, and that's why we kind of started a little bit late, congratulations to the women's volleyball team. They will advance to nationals in West Virginia. And we saw a big run from Justin Henderson. So once we got through with doing that game, we heard it over here. And Justin Houston found a hole. Bounce off the defender. Well, that's not Justin Houston, excuse me. That's Elias Warsham. As we're getting so used to saying Justin Henderson, that the 33 looked like the 23. We're seeing Elias take the ball. Quarterback run. Nice job by Noah Spam getting off a block and tackling Aloysius in the backfield. And this will bring up 4th down. And Cooper Lee will get another crack at it. Last punt bounced into the end zone and see if he can stick him inside the 5 or however. Cooper Lee. And a penalty. So Coffeyville will run the play clock dead. Again, trying to drain that clock. Moving back 5 yards. Give Cooper Lee a little bit more yardage to punt with. 1:43 left, and now that's all the time Highland will get on offense. They have to come up with 3 scores. Coffeyville pretty much have it sealed by now. High booted kick. And you'll field it at the 13-yard line.
You know, Logan, it's like, I had asked you before, what does Highland need to do coming into this second half? And, you expressed they need a driver needs to be able to have some rhythm and completed passes. And, as we've seen, they've had a couple great runs, and he has had some rhythm. Unfortunately, it just doesn't look like it's been enough to come above the point deficit that they're sitting at right now.
Yeah, nice 40-yard pump by Cooper right there. But, yeah, really haven't had much success on the passing through the air. Just been a run-heavy team, and when you only give one team a one-dimension look, it's pretty easy to figure out. And that's what Coffeyville's defense has done tonight. Sniffed out the run. They did allow a couple big runs, but through the air, they had a couple pass interference calls early in the first half. Kind of figured out those. And their secondary has been pretty well covered tonight. But then again, Highland has not thrown the ball a whole lot.
No, and as we've mentioned, their quarterback only 90 yards passing, so that's to be expected.
And Highland running the ball, even though there's a minute left in the game. 45 seconds draining out. Again, this is the last game at Veterans Memorial Stadium for the year. And Coffeyville will finish 3-3 at home on the season. Not where I think Coach Liker or Coach Flores would want to see them with the home record.
But they have progressed since the beginning of the season. And, you want to see that. You want to see the success early on, but it is good to see it, winding down to the end, that they have had that success and coming in now at 3-6.
Another run by Kevin Johnson, and that will end the game. Coffeyville with the victory, 27-10. I'm Logan Mance alongside McKenna Coppachee. And we just witnessed Coffeyville come away with their 3rd victory at home. 3-3, like we said. They've won 3 straight. So
We hope you guys have enjoyed tuning in every home game we have had.
Again, you're watching Red Raven TV. And Coffeyville comes away with the victory, their third straight. We'll say goodnight.